Hi, I'm Jose Anunciato, and you're watching the WebDev channel.
All right, so what I'd like to be able to do is these modules over here, they live in some array, right? So how do they end up in the array, right? How is it that we can add things to the array? So let's consider the same example that we looked at earlier, and let's see what we could do. So what I'd like to be able to do is add a form element at the top, perhaps, right? Maybe also a button we can click, and as we type the value and we click on the button, right, we somehow can retrieve the value of that title, right, and update this. Ideally, we would send it over to the server. Hey, server, here's a post, a brand new module. Please re-render the entire list, right? So let's see how we could add an element. All right, so what we could do is that in the module list, we can add just an input field. So let's grab that input field. And at the top of the module list, let's see, where's the module list? So that's module list 2, and that renders our modules. Let's see, in module list item. Oh, so module list item renders as what? Oh, as a list group. So this should have rendered how? This actually should have rendered as a UL, right? Class name, list group, actually. We forgot that. Let's see, is it still rendering okay? Yes, still rendering okay. Yeah, we were generating bad HTML. A good thing the browsers are very forgiving. We have certain missing elements. All right, so let's add an input field right above that list. So let's add an input field right here. Okay, if we re-render, we now have an input field top, right? Let's just add some space above it. Let's do a break. Okay, so we have an input field at the top, and then we'd like to be able to maybe perhaps listen to changes in the input field, right? And somehow store it in some state variable, right? The new title of new module that we want to add, right? So to do that, we're going to have to declare an event handler that is going to listen for changes on the input field. Right? So that any changes in this input field, we would like to stick it in the state object, because the state object is what keeps track of the state of the component. Right now, it just has the module, the list of modules. Yes, it also needs to track all the form elements in the page. Okay, so let's first declare an onChange. Right, so on the input field, we're going to declare an onChange. Now, if we refresh, it'll probably complain if we start calling this. Oh, yeah, actually, it's not complaining. Good. It's looking for a function called title changed. Right? It's not finding it, so it's not calling it. We need to declare that function. Let's declare the function. So let's declare the function somewhere here. There it is. And what function is going to do is that it's going to receive as an argument the event that was generated when we started typing at the keyboard, right? Whenever changed. The target was going to be a reference to the actual input field, and that value is an attribute on the input field, right? So it should print out all the keystrokes that we generate. Not just yet. We need to bind this, right? We need to tell React, hey, that function is bound to the component, right? So we need to bind that function. And then the way we do that is that in the constructor, we declare, we do it this way. We declare a function on the component instance, and we add a .bind this, meaning I am going to be listening to you, right? Any of the events, right, that you generate, notify me. Where? In this function, in title changed. Okay, I want you to notify that function so I am a listener to your events. All right. So I think we're ready. Let's take a look at this. So as we type, notice that indeed it is printing to the console. Right. So we got the first part done. Right. We can notify a centralized controller or that an event is happening, that somebody is typing some script at an input field. But the controller, the component doesn't yet know about the actual value, right? It knows that it's happening, but it's not being stored anywhere. Okay, we need to be able to stick it into that state object, right? So that component is aware of this of the state of that particular input field. So let's do that next. Right? So what we're going to do is that first we're going to declare an initial value, right? Where we're going to keep track of this state. So the way we keep track of it is that in that state object that we were declaring earlier, we're going to declare a brand new entry, right? So in this module, or in this state, right, we can declare any number of things that we want to keep track of in here, right? That the component's keeping track of. We're going to declare here a new entry, module:title empty, right? So we're creating a sub-object instead of this bigger object, right? An object that has as an attribute, the object is called module, and it has a single property there that has title. Okay, and what we're going to try and do is that once we get a hold of the value of the input field in the event handler, we're going to try and stick the value into that state entry. Okay, so let's do that. What we're going to do here is that instead of just printing out to the console, right, we're going to call this dot set state. So this dot set state. So set state is a function declared on the component, on the React component, which we are inheriting from. And just like render, right? Render is declared in my parent component, right? I'm just inheriting it from it. But there's another function on there called set state that allows you to change this state here. Allows you to change it, modify it. Okay? Not replace it, right? It allows you to change it. So you can tell it, what do you want to change? Well, I want to change the module, right? I want to change it so that the title is now equal to the event.target.value. Okay, so it should still work. Okay? All right, so now the component is fully aware of that field. Right? It is aware that somebody's typing at it and it's updating the state, right, in the state instance. Right? So that anywhere else in the component I can use it. For instance, sending it over like a fetch post over to a server. This would be a perfect place, right, to do an AJAX call or a fetch call and do a post, right, and send title over to the server, and then listen for a callback for like a promise, and then re-render the component with a new list of modules, right? And that's where we're going to be headed next. There we are. So we're able to all right, so one of the things that we'd like to be able to do is now that we have the title, this module object, when you click on the button, right, we would like to grab this new module that was generated, right, and perhaps send it over to the server. To do that, let's add a button. Let's add a brand new button. Let's add a button at the bottom of the right after this input field. Let's add a button right there. Oops. Copy. Paste. So this is the button. Has a button in its primary, so it's blue. Block, it takes the entire width of the page. And inside the button, we are putting a plus sign. All right, so let's look at that. It didn't render. Why didn't you render? No. The development server has disconnected. What? Why have you disconnected? Oh, there's my button. All right, so there's my button. Right, so I'd like to be able to listen to clicks on that button. Yes? is, let's do that. Let's bind now an event handler on that button. We're going to do an onClick. It's going to call some functions, maybe, I don't know, maybe this dot create module, maybe. Okay, notice that it doesn't have the parentheses, right? Meaning it's going to be called when you click on it. Meaning I don't want to call it right away. I want to call it when it's clicked. Yeah, if I put a parenthesis there, it's going to actually call it. Right? I don't want to do that. I will call it only when it's clicked. So I need to declare. The same thing I did earlier. Right? We need to declare the event handler right here. This dot create module equal this dot create module dot bind dot this. And so here we're going to declare the implement create module. We're going to take event, and here we can do console.log, make sure that we are indeed here. Oops. What did I type? Type error, cannot read of undefined, create module. Did I misspell it? Create module, create module, create module, bind of undefined. See any error here? Create module, list. Let's see, did I miss something here? This dot create module equal this dot create module bind this. No, that looks right. And the onClick dot create module. That's right. Property bind of undefined create module. Let me see if I mistyped something. Let me just copy it. This create module. No, that looks right. That looks right. Event create module. Okay, that's right. And the button on click. Did I misspell something? Button on click. On-click this module, and okay, whatever. I don't know, I must have typed something wrong. I'm sorry? That shouldn't matter. Let's see, event. No, it didn't matter. Anyway, notice that I clicked on it, right? And it's printing, what is it printing? Module 24. Create modules. Right, it's printing, it's looking at the state. See that? This.state.module, right? And it's a state of whatever we're typing there, right? So notice that if I type there my next module, right, and I go to the console, and I clear this, and I click on this, notice that I get the module object. See that? Title my next module. So I actually get, right, the object that was added to the state, right, as I was typing. As I was typing, the object was being updated into state, and then when I click, I then now have the object. So I'm ready to send this over to the server, right, for update. Okay, right, and that's what we're going to be doing next, right.
I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, like the video, and share it. Thanks.